Representative Blumenthal.
Through you, Madam Speaker, I just wanted to make a couple of comments to sum up my position on this bill and why I believe it's important for us to pass it today. I've heard a lot of really interesting questions and good points from members in all directions on this bill, and I appreciate their perspective on it. But I just wanted to respond to a couple of the points that I heard voiced during this debate. One is one, frankly, I agree with. I heard several representatives say that they don't believe this bill is necessary because most businesses just want to hire their people back after the pandemic, now that it's safe and the economy is coming back. And I agree. I hope that's the case, and I believe it's the case. I believe that the vast, vast majority of employers in the state of Connecticut are good employers, they're smart employers, and they want to do the right thing, and they will do the right thing, and this bill will have nothing to do with them. But as we often do in this legislature, we make laws not necessarily for the good employers, but to protect against some of the bad ones, and unfortunately, they do exist. They are the vast minority, but they do exist in any system. And I heard something else. There was a dichotomy drawn during the debate by some of the good representatives who were speaking between seniority on the one hand and merit on the other. And I wouldn't say that it's always true, but I believe that in many senses and in many times that is a false dichotomy. Often in most areas of work, time served often translates into merit and knowledge and experience and better effectiveness. I know that that was generally true in the Marines. Most of the people who had served longer than I did knew more than I did, and I listened to them. It's been true in my experience in the law. The lawyers who have practiced longer generally know more than I do, and I listen to them, and I learn from them. And it's true in the healthcare field. Actually, it's one of the most important factors in the healthcare field. In fact, for surgeons, the number one predictor of their outcomes is how many times they've done the surgery. So I think that this dichotomy between merit and seniority is, in many cases, of false ones. And several of the representatives asked, why did we look at these particular industries? And I've been thinking about it. Why these industries? Well, part of me thinks that it's because although most employers do the right thing, most of them do the long-term thinking and the right moral thing. Some of these industries that we're covering here, food service, janitorial service, working in a hotel, they're often referred to derisively by some people. People say, oh, flipping burgers is not that hard. You should be able to go clean a toilet, it's not that hard. For anyone who's done that work, and I know there are people in this chamber who have, they know it is hard work. But some employers, some people who run businesses, again, a very small minority, don't understand that. And so these are the employees who are most likely to be disrespected or to be hurt at the end of the pandemic if an employer decides not to hire them back. And that's why I believe it's really important that we pass this bill today. This is a reasonable procedure for a narrow set of businesses and industries to ensure that if a worker was laid off because of the COVID-19 pandemic, that they get a chance to go back to their old job once it's over. After all, that's what we've been saying over and over and over again throughout this pandemic. We're all in this together. I believe that this bill sums up that principle in a reasonable way, and I urge my colleagues to support it. Thank you, Madam Speaker.